Comcast. This already annoying logo, which I'm going to go ahead and give 5 cents for, introduces the first fart joke in under a minute of the movie's runtime. The rulebook states that if a joke of this nature occurs in under a minute, then the movie shall be levied a fart tax of 10 more cents.
But it all came to an end in season 3.
I've been a bad boy!
So did Balthazar go into puberty just now on the show, and they continued filming?
Leading us all to wonder, where is he now?
This leads me to wonder who's watching this hard copy show. Why is this the format they use for Balthazar's backstory if we're just gonna cut to the present day version?
Playing a villain on TV was fun, but being one in real life is even better!
Trey Parker voices a character in a Despicable Me movie, and I couldn't be more shocked if they announced a basketball too. Also, Boast's position. Or is it Boat's position? I mean, I guess it's Boat's position. Also introducing Balthazar Bratt, a character that seems entirely inspired by Peter Dinklage's character in Pixels, which was based on Billy Mitchell from The King of Kong, but mostly the Pixels thing because it sucks.
How is that heist music?
Sorry, my bad.
Balthazar made a mixtape that has love songs on one side and heist music on another. I know this is a cartoon, but who does that? Also, when Clive flips over the tape, he flips it at 180 degrees right to left, making this cassette player nigh impossible. This is a terrible movie, but it's even worse when you realize that a significant portion of the budget was used to get the rights to a fucking Michael Jackson song. Even if Balthazar is the sneakiest character in the world, his speedboat should have already announced his presence to these two ships, even if the lookout is only concerned with looking in one direction. Nice try at pettiness illumination, but you can really only start throwing shade after you've made something as good as Finding Nemo.
Stop! On the ground!
Any explanation given for how the convenient weaponized bubblegum works? No? God, this movie already, and it hasn't even been 5 minutes. Silas sounded the alarm about the heist after it was ongoing, and Balthazar just got the diamond. So how did Gru and Lucy get here so fast? Were they just out riding around in their torpedoes for fun? In the exact location as the ship with the diamond?
He's getting away!
That's what he thinks!
If this is really the faster form of transportation, why didn't they ride these fuckers the entire time?
You guys are so cute.
This girl who thinks the minions are cute must have missed out on all the assholes in the world using these fuckers as teeth-grinding memes for the last 7 years. You'd think after just one time having a weapon knocked out of these guys' hands, they'd stop standing so close to each other. But that would ruin whatever gag this is supposed to be. Crudity. Jesus Christ, in the first 7 minutes alone, they've packed in at least 7,534 80s references. Can't wait till they get to the slap bracelets in Act 2.
Happy birthday, dear Dan!
Ha ha ha, funny bit. But if Gru's this close to the window, that means this building is currently being destroyed by the floating ship. So are these beach babes actually gonna f these minions? I mean, I'm not judging. I just want to know how that's supposed to work, and if they have the proper protection against minions. No one on this beach either noticed or cared that a giant freighter floating above their heads is being boarded by heavily armed government agents. There must be some awesome molly available at this beach. Why even bother with the subterfuge of disguising the entrance to the headquarters if the transport occurs out in the wide f***ing open? Is everyone in this universe incapable of looking up?
Which one of you losers is Agent Gru?
Valerie enacted her hostile takeover of the AVL and was promoted from the head office, but she doesn't know who f***ing Gru is, either from his villain or hero days?
Oh, it's the girls!
Who apparently don't age over the course of 7 years of movies.
How could you let Balthazar Bratt, the AVL's most wanted villain, just get away?
Wait, Balthazar is the AVL's most wanted villain? So why didn't you send
Everyone!
I mean,
I want every agent in the area on the scene immediately.
Silas told everyone in the area to go there, but how is that only Gru and Lucy? Are they based in Miami?
You're fired!
This highly secretive agency feels the best way to fire their agents is to throw them out in the clear view of the public.
Today, Lucy and I were invited to not work at the AVL anymore.
What's the problem, though? Sure, the agency's probably provided some good benefits, but Gru was independently wealthy, even after he stopped being a villain in the last movie.
No!
Censorship.
You could gamble online. That's what Katie's dad does.
And let's not go over to Katie's house anymore.
Gru still has minions and a ton of weaponry, but bans the kids from being exposed to the real evil like PokerStars.com.
Bueno.
Also, you knew this highlight reel of good Gru and evil Gru couldn't go without at least 2 jokes.
Lisa Milipo, Pomodoro la Comquit.
Over 2 movies, Gru hasn't said in Minionese, but all of a sudden he breaks that out here, all in the service of an unfunny joke.
You guys, don't stop right now. There will be consequences.
Mel's trying to Norma Ray the minions here, but if they're so fixated on villainy, why didn't they strike during the last movie when they had the exact same reservations? In case you confused it with Paris, Sierra Leone.
The chief of police sent me. He was concerned that during the recent heist attempt, the Dumont diamond was replaced with a phony.
We find out later this is Balthazar in disguise, but seriously, Wouldn't a museum have already conducted this test? And then wonder why the police chief is telling a gem expert to go to the museum unannounced? I guess a villain needs to make a dramatic escape in most instances, but can't he just walk out the front door? He sleep-darted the entire museum staff.
Now, as I was saying...
Goodbye.
Considering Gru just committed an extremely casual homicide, he may as well go back into full villainy.
After you and your brother were born, your father and I divorced.
And someone was there to document the exact moment you guys fell out of love, decided to divorce, and separate the kids with a short burst of Polaroids.
We each took one son to raise on our own and promised never to see each other again.
And this agreement was totally fine within whatever laws were in place at the time. Also, why did Drew wait so long to contact Gru? Just because their parents divorced, it doesn't mean he wasn't allowed to find him all this time.
This is the family business. The largest pig farm in the whole of Fredonia.
Hard to believe the pig farm's still in business, considering they just leave these assholes anywhere on the property, including their own way.
No, that's my private part.
Holy shit. I think I just sighed so hard I cracked a rib. It's almost like they told Steve Carell, try and do something more annoying than Minions, and this is what happened after take 1,000,057.
How is my brother finding a wife like you when he is so bald?
That's baldest.
This is the best!
Yes, the best.
All right, let's go home now.
Gru was super goddamn excited about meeting his twin, who's been nothing but nice to his family, but one crack about him being bald immediately softened his brother boner.
Now you can be as evil as Balthazar Brat!
How the hell was this show a hit? Even if Brat's considered cool in the 80s, he does a bunch of evil shit, right? Were kids ready for the anti-hero concept back then?
Oh, it's too bad Gru won't be around to try and stop me.
How does Brat know that Gru was fired? Does he have an unexplained mole deep in the AVL's HR department?
The pig farm was just a cover for the real family business.
Damn, Drew wasted no time in telling Gru about his sinister family background. How does he know Gru's not still working for the AVL?
Our dad was a villain?
Oh, not just a villain, but one of the greatest of all time.
Gru worked for the AVL, where surely someone would have made mention that his dad was a villain, unless the AVL simply erases all evidence of all the villains they've ever gone after. Even though the front of the car is pointing down during the fall, this grappling hook shoots at the top of the cliff, because this franchise has a big, meaty middle finger for those of you who believe in shit like physics.
Go take a bite of his cheese, young lady. Just do it. What's the worst that could happen?
Lucy encourages Margot to not only approach strange foreign men, but also to eat whatever they have in their hands.
Laugh, all of you!
One-eyed bartender temporarily forgets which eye he's lost. And don't try and tell me this is a subtle clue that he's faking the one-eye thing, because this movie is anything but subtle.
Did you just steal candies? Yes!
These village cops mobilize fast. Were they staking that candy truck out? Also, a f***ing candy truck isn't open during the middle of the day. What about the festival that's happening nearby? Are we saying these pigs can catch up to the souped-up hot rod? Earlier, I thought it was amusing that Evil Brat was outrunning the cops in his big wheel because that's something an 80s kid show might do. But now I'm thinking this movie believes non-engine vehicles can compete with cars.
That was crazy! We were so close to getting busted.
But they just went through the wall of the town, right? Those cops were f***ing relentless during this chase, but just gave up when they encountered a hole in the ground. Sure, everyone in this supposedly realistic Southern California city, just ignore the army of cirrhosis pills walking down the sidewalk. Man, f*** this pizza delivery guy and his never-ending stack of pizzas that go past the letterboxing. You're telling me the restaurant allows him to deliver pizzas in a way that will cause lost inventory and 75% of their profits? Car required, asshole! So wait, this poster's advertising a show called Sing, but it's not the movie that came out 6 months before this one? It's just another thing called Sing! Originality much movie? Also, if they are related, I want to see a universe where Seth MacFarlane and Trey Parker have to do a scene together, especially after that whole Cartoon Wars thing a few years ago. The Minions were able to walk through the backstage production and onto the stage of a currently filming singing competition, because we've literally run out of situations to put these little f***wads into. Also, characters running through a Hollywood studio find themselves on soundstage during filming and nobody thinks they're intruders until it's way too late and we're a much dumber cliche. This scene is a humorous inside joke, because a pile of pink toilet paper is exactly how this script was provided to the cast. Is it just me, or is there something a bit off about this movie? They introduce a main antagonist like Balthazar, then go to another story entirely with Gru's twin brother, which makes it seem like two different movies were being made at the same time and spliced together at the last minute.
Fritz, my good fellow, could you get me another napkin, please?
Of course, Miss Edith.
I know this is played for laughs, but why did they pick Fritz to constantly shit on in this movie? Does he have a dark past that we don't know about? Even though Drew's house is 3 times as large as Gru's, they still put the girls in the same room together, complete with the dangerous triple bunk, and a ridiculous ladder no child should ever climb.
It might not be good unicorn finding weather.
Oh yeah, let's not forget the sea story in this movie. Agnes's attempt to find a unicorn. I'm beginning to wonder if they're going to fit Sandman and Venom into this thing. Ha! It's funny, because it's Gru! Wait, these assholes were prosecuted for walking onto the studio lot? and convicted within hours? God damn, I thought this movie was just going to be silly and annoying like the other two Despicable Me's, but this genuinely sucks. I've never seen a movie this short waste so much time. Also, man, butts sure are funny, aren't they? If you've stocked your movie with stupid little f***ing animated banana Tic Tacs, just slap a butt on there and instant comedy f***ing gold. F*** you, movie. There was no emotional connection between Gru and the minions before now, and he certainly was never shown taking any of them fishing. Also, according to this shot, we've got roughly 5 minutes before the Earth is swallowed by the sun. When the movie told us that Agnes was going to seek out a unicorn in the forest, I thought that meant with adult supervision. Lucy flipped out earlier when they disappeared, but I guess walking alone into a forest that a one-eyed bartender told you a unicorn lives in is perfectly okay.
Unicorns, here we come!
What's that for?
Bait! Duh.
No, seriously, how many unnecessary subplots are there in this movie that's mostly about the rivalry between Gru and Brat? Is Margot still hanging out with the dude that gave her the cheese? Will Edith continue her torturous pursuit of Fritz? Will the f***ing minions ever do anything entertaining?
Okay, this is Brat's lair.
Wait, I thought earlier it was a big deal that he escaped because, well, you didn't know where he would go after escaping. But you know where his lair is, and the AVL is a well-funded organization committed to stopping villains, so I don't see the problem. Even if his lair was considered impenetrable, you're about to do this job with 2 people.
It may not look like much, but this place is armed with some of the most high-tech weaponry known to man.
How is it that Brat developed all this evil tech by himself? It's not like his character was described as a super genius. He was just a failed child star. And even though he probably had some scratch from Evil Brat, it only lasted less than 3 seasons, so the fact that he's enormously wealthy is also some bullshit.
Hello, my schmoopsie poo.
Whoa!
Damn, I didn't realize Harvey Weinstein had a son that lived in Fredonia. Oh, f*** me hard, oh, f*** me hard, how stupid is this movie? Wait, is Brat's lair seriously within easy boating distance of Fredonia? It's styled as a European country, and Gru lives in California, so where the are we?
Oh, I miss the minions.
I don't.
Quick, camouflage mode!
How is he able to go into camouflage mode and stay in sticky mode? When we saw Gru going through the options, it seemed pretty clear that you could only pick one mode. If you could do both, then why even bother doing this mission without it?
It's a scanning device!
Even though the rockets are pointed specifically at Gru, the scanning device has a flair for the dramatic, and starts on the other side of the wall. Man, these sticky suits sure are only sticky when the plot demands them to be. Also, Gru made the plan to break into Brat's lair before he even knew the suits existed, so how the hell did he think he would get in? This plan is highly dependent on these suits. Well, it looks like someone's been reading the Kamagrutra. And finally got to the section on Grustenining. Balthazar's lair is impenetrable, except if you want to burn a hole around an AC unit. Wow, the minions are f***ing committed to this escape plan, considering this little guy is being actively shit on. What kind of air conditioning unit has a panel connected to a carpeted floor? Drew and Gru just happen to be here at the exact time Brat set his alarm to put his evil plan into action. Also, this could have been a good time to turn on that camouflage feature these suits have. Getting shot in the eye with this laser causes tinnitus, because the writers have clearly lost control of their senses.
Go get him, Brat Pack!
Not only did Brat have all these dolls programmed to kill, he had them all in boxes, able to be synchronized to voice commands. Keep in mind that this technological genius still watches VHS tapes. Lucy Ex Machina! But how did she know they were here? And what did she think she was going to do in this helicopter? Didn't Gru tell her that this lair was impenetrable and had a defense system that would shoot missiles at anyone who got close?
Look, we got the diamond! And we're going to take it to the AVL and get our jobs back!
Yeah, but Gru already had the diamond after the last encounter with Brat. It was the fact that he couldn't catch him that got him fired. So this plan was faulty from the start. Minions singing 99 bottles of beer on the wall is a new chalkboard scratching standard for the Despicable Me franchise. I hate you f***ers so much. What kind of plane has a chain lock?
Now that's what I call acting!
Even if I believe Balthazar could disguise himself exactly like Lucy, I can never believe he imitated her voice so perfectly. Also, this reveal is one of the most brain-twisting logic problems we've ever encountered in a movie. How did he even get here, especially this fast? I guess he could have been disguised as Lucy here, when Lucy saved them from the spikes, but I'd ask why bother? And if he used a helicopter from his own lair, there should have been another helicopter waiting at Drew's mansion when they landed, because the idea that he could have flown to Drew, stole his helicopter, and back to his own lair in time is monumentally silly, especially since he didn't know Drew existed 5 minutes ago. The plane they're currently in is the same plane Gru and his family arrived on, so he didn't use that to get here. So what the f***ing movie?
Brat! He took the girls!
I mean, even more bullshit, right? I guess if Balthazar snuck in, overpowered Lucy, and stole her identity, she could assume he took the girls, but there's no way of knowing that, since she was tied up in the closet the whole time.
What is that?
So were the minions flying to Fredonia? But they didn't know that's where Gru and company are. God damn, this movie has no sense of where people and creatures are. Okay, so how the f*** did Gru know where Balthazar went? Remember, Balthazar took off in Drew's plane, then showed up to Hollywood, inside a giant evil brat, which means he had to go back to his lair to get that. Then he spent the rest of the time underwater, from wherever his lair is to Hollywood, and Gru should have no idea where he was. Also, where the f*** are things in this world? They go from Miami to Freetonia to Hollywood to wherever the f*** they want, like it's a trip to the local grocery store.
I've seen this episode! He's going to bubblegum the whole city and send it up into space!
I saw this episode too. It was called Age of Ultron. People taking selfies in front of really dangerous cliché. Wait, I thought this bubblegum was sticky, so Lucy should be going absolutely nowhere in this scene. All these missiles make a direct hit on the giant robot, which must have all been set to mildly inconvenience. Brat fell from his perch by the Hollywood sign, so how is he able to continue to laser this circle? He's basically at sea level.
Drew!
Good guess, but how does Gru know that this was Drew's doing? He passed out from the fall before Drew even got close to the robot. When archaeologists dig up the sedimentary layer we're all buried under 10,000 years from now, they're going to find way too many movies from this era that somehow end with a humorous dance fight. Great, I went through this whole movie just to see a villain being carried away by a giant bubble while hanging from his ballsack.
I'm back on the job, so no villainy tonight.
Movie had time to show us a minion prison montage, but has no time to show us how Gru and Lucy got their jobs back.
What is happening?
It's coming from outside!
But it's not waking anyone else in the neighborhood up.
Somebody's got to keep the family tradition alive!
Drew, an unappealing character from start to finish, is supposed to be the villain in Despicable Me 4? Count me out!
Hey, look! Buildings! That building's so close I can almost touch it.
Would you like some of my cheese?
It's like you're dreaming about gorgonzola cheese when it's clearly brie time.
I present you with Big to confirm my engagement to your daughter.
With all respect.
Arresting me for what? I'm not allowed to stand up for myself? I thought this was America.
You got fired?
No! 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 No!
That guy in a little coat. That guy in a little coat.
Don't.
And now, it's your turn to
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine.
Brick killed a guy.